Ryan Rakowski at Palos Verdes High, and you've tuned in to South Bay Sports Radio with Nick Ingram.
Let's begin with a young buck. Ryan, when did you fall in love with football?
Probably ever since I first played it when I was like 8. I had like a team of a lot of my friends. One of our safeties was on it, actually, Cameron Hughes. He was on my team, so I grew up playing like with a lot of the guys that are on our team now and like former graduates. So I mean, ever since I've played it, I just love it, and like the more I play, like I just love competing. So like competing at the highest level for me is like just super fun, and I love that. So the more I play it, the more I just fall in love with it.
What about you, Coach? When was the first time you fell in love with football?
Hi, I'm Gardner, head coach at Palos Verdes High School, and you've tuned into Nick Ingram's South Bay Sports Radio.
There we go.
About the same age. I remember there was an ad in the paper for Pop Warner, and I was 9, and my parents were supposed to take me to the tryouts to the, I think it was called clinic level, so it's the lowest level, at the young level, and they were late coming home, and I think I was crying that they were late, and then I got to the thing, and I don't know why I loved it. I think my dad liked football. I think my family would like watching it. But I really wanted to play it. I just always loved it. And that's when 9 years old was my first year playing Pop Warner football. Right into it.
So you play at Maricosta and you graduate sometime in the 80s, ages ago. But what do you remember about your prep career?
My last year I played for Herb Hinchy, who would later be my boss. He hired me as my first coaching job, assistant coach at Maricosta. Very indebted to him, and he's passed away since. But he and his ex-wife gave me some opportunities in 2 different areas: coaching and in the radio business. Yeah.
What do you remember about your time during high school?
Good guys that I hung out with. Yeah, that we played together with. That's what it was really about for us, was I think the friendship and playing, and we didn't win as many games as we wanted to, but we won a lot of good relationships for sure, and that's what I remember most. That, and personally, just I was okay. I just was really slow.
You played baseball growing up, but you stepped away from the diamond. How tough was that decision for you?
It was kind of easy for me. I just love football more, and I wanted to take it like really seriously. So I stopped playing in 8th grade, but I was playing with a really good team. Coach Brian King, he runs a really good program at South Bay Elite. So I played with him for 3 years, and then I played Little League at Rolling Hills, and it was really fun there too. So.
Both your grandfather and your mom were 2-sport All-Americans at Bishop Montgomery. How has their legacy influenced your approach to the game, and do you feel any added pressure or motivation carrying that family tradition?
They both give me really good advice because, my mom played basketball and volleyball, and then she played basketball in college, but she knows like what it's like to go through like everything that I'm going through, kind of, even though it's a different sport, but kind of like the recruiting process, every like step of the way she's there for me. And same with my grandpa. He obviously played at UCLA and football and baseball, so he has a lot of good advice that he gives to me too. So I'm really thankful for both of them.
Coach, you've been here since 2009, but your philosophy is simple. To me, at least. One play, one practice, one game at a time. How and when did you come up with that?
Good question. I think it evolved. Obviously, I've ripped that off someplace along the way, or at least been influenced by that, or molded it into that. And you're right. It is simple. I think it's conceptually very simple. I don't think it's always simple to do, and I also think it's very effective. But it's probably been shaped by all the coaches I've had that I've been able to coach with along the way, and then I just kind of, and read about and things like that. And I mean, there's probably a lot of Tony Dungy in there. I've never met the man. I wish I had, but or could. And other coaches I read about, and there's always a little Coach Wooden in there someplace, and then coaches that I've had. So I think it just evolved, and so I don't know if there's one thing that that's even though one play, but I think it just kind of evolved, and maybe it's just simple because that's kind of how I am. I don't think it needs to be all that complicated. Yeah.
You talked about your coaching beginnings in Arizona at a youth football level while you were still in college at Arizona State. How has your coaching style evolved since taking that first job?
It's evolved, I think, just realizing that we all want to win. The X's and O's are awesome. It's fun. It can be pressure filled, but it's really about the relationships with the players. I think that's how it's. I think the attention to that as I get, as I've gotten older, I think it's always been there, but it's really the importance of that, of leaving them with things that, or preparing them with things that they can take beyond the football field, because it's all going to stop, right? Football's at some point, hopefully, we've got some players that keep playing and play as long as they can, but at some point and most of the guys we coach aren't going to go play football after high school. So if they can take some of the lessons that I've been very blessed to have the staffs all through the years and just people I've worked with and stuff. So it's, I think my own growth, continual growth in my faith has helped. I'm sure early on I was more about, the results, and then those things. I cared about the players too, but I think very blessed early on that change to really care about them and the guys and gals that we're coaching with, and and I think when you do that, you got a better shot to if you could get a group to play as hard as they can and want to play as hard as they can. I don't know exactly what that recipe is, but I know I'm surrounded by coaches that know how to do that. That's awesome.
We'll get back to your coaching staff in a little bit. Ryan, you were named starting quarterback as a freshman here at PV. Looking back, what were some of the biggest hurdles for you?
It wasn't really like a hard transition, I feel like, because I had a lot of coaches like Coach G, Coach Gilo, pretty much all of our coaches, they kind of welcomed me, and same with the players. I was lucky enough to practice with them, just workouts on our own before I even came here. So it was I felt like it was just gradually stepping towards high school ball, and it was I got a great opportunity with Coach G and all of the guys on the team. So I feel like it made it easier than a normal situation would have been, because I was just welcomed in with warm arms, and I was just ready to work.
Last year, you guys won sectional, regional, and state titles, but the season got off to a bumpy start. How would you describe the emotional roller coaster of last year? And this goes for both of you.
I would just say kind of like what Coach G talks about, kind of like the one play type of mentality, and that's just kind of one practice. You can't focus on your losses or your wins the previous week. You just got to focus on going 1-0 each week, and I think we were 2-4 at a point. So I think it kind of just goes back to that mentality that Coach G instilled in us, because you can't really look at we haven't been winning games. You just got to focus on the next week and get back to it and see where that takes you, and it ended up taking us to the state championship. So
yeah, it was. There were some moments there where the doubt always creeps in a little bit. Are we doing the right thing? And then you realize you just need to do it better. We all need to do it better. Our coaches need to do it better. The players need to do it better. And you just stay the course and see how it goes. But it's that Ryan's correct. That's what we did, and it's hard to do when you're in the midst of it and it's not going great. But when you look back now, and there's some reasons too. We were going to have some growing pains. We had new players, and it was going to take a little bit. and it did, and then we got, then it turned for us, which was awesome. But that was the players, staying true to what we were doing, and then it changed. So that was really neat to see.
Working in the community, I have a lot of people that come to me and they say, "Oh, what's the scoop this week? What's the scoop that week?" Or people coming to me like, "Hey, what do you think about this team?" And one of the biggest questions I get is like, "What do you think about PV?" I said, "I don't think they've hit their stride. I think they've got a really tough schedule. I think you just got to give them time." And week after
well, then
week,
I needed to talk to you Nick, in the middle of this, and I would have felt a lot better.
Well, you know what? I try to keep my opinions to myself during the season because they're like butts.
Yes.
Seeing your former players return as coaches must bring back some memories for you, Coach. But what does it mean to you personally to have them back and now leading the program they'd helped build?
Beyond words. Super blessed. I mean, my wife and I talk about that all the time. And shockingly, I don't know if people realize this, they're not getting paid a whole lot of money. So, these guys come back and they're literally volunteering time. And it's awesome. It's just awesome. It's hard to describe, but I'm just super blessed that, and those blessings rub off on the kids and this whole program, and obviously this is just, they got to name somebody the head coach. Okay, great, but it is a whole program, and it's run by these guys that I am blessed to have around, and so it's fantastic. Yeah.
Let's start to look at this upcoming season. Ryan, your junior year is quickly approaching, and first on the list is Gardner Sarah. When would you say you began preparing for that game?
Probably ever since I found out we were playing them in the off season. I have a lot of friends that I play in the off season with that are on Sarah, so we do a little bit of trash talking. So I know it's gonna be a really hard game. They're super good program. I mean, there's not many more teams in SoCal that produce more NFL guys than they do, and they have a lot of really good DBs, really good defensive line. I mean, they're going to be a tough challenge for us, but I think that we're going to be ready for it, and I'm excited for the game.
A little different twist on that question for you, Coach. That's about as tough of an opener as you can get. What message are you sending with a matchup like that, and how do you think your guys are going to respond?
I don't know if there was any message about it. We had the opportunity to play a really good team, and I've known Coach Altenberg for a long time, and like Ryan said, they got a great program. But there's certainly no message. It's you're going to play a team like that, you're going to find out real quick your faults, what you need to work on, right? And it's a big challenge for our guys, for sure. But I think our guys are looking forward to it. That's not to say we know what we're going up against. That is obviously a really strong program. But no real deep message, I don't think. It's our first game, and it's against a really, really good opponent, and it'll let us know where we're at.
Last year we talked and I asked you about your favorite superhero, and I want to bring that back because you joked about your Superman impersonation going terribly wrong. But how do moments like that shape team culture, and what's the line between focus and fun?
Moments like what? I'm sorry.
Just having fun with the group.
Oh, yeah. They probably have more fun with the coaches. I'm assuming. It's funny you bring that up now because I'm a little jealous. In my team meetings that I have or position group meetings, I don't know what it is, but I have to pry things out of the guys. But when I see them with the other coaches, they seem to share it and be open a little bit more. So I don't know. I don't know what that is, but I do have. They may not think. I mean, someone's got to keep track of things, right? So the head guy has to do that a lot. So I actually do have fun. Could I have more fun with them? Maybe, but I'm trying to get the whatever, the energy and the focus, on where it always needs to be. So I'm probably that guy, right? So that has to bring it back. So I may not be looked at as the guy that's the real fun guy, but that, I guess that's where your assistants come in.
There's some fun hidden in there.
Yeah.
Ryan, this year's squad looks to be loaded with a lot of talent. What are some things you're looking forward to this upcoming year?
I'm just excited to play a tough schedule like we are, even though we do have a lot of good guys. It doesn't always equal success because it's really about how well we can mesh together, and that's, I think, what we're kind of striving towards right now, how well we could just play together, kind of get to know each other off the field too, because I feel like that's what Coach G talks about a lot too. It's almost just as important, like, are you going to play for the guy right next to you, or how much do you really love them and care about them? So I think that's a big part of it too.
I want to go back to the question that I asked Coach about having coaches like Coach Buck, Coach Davis, and Coach Jeff, but having this coaching staff have former players like those three and more. What's something about this staff that most people don't get to see?
Yeah. Also, Coach Vaccaro.
Forgot about Frenchie.
Yeah. They're just super good guys. I love playing for all the coaches on the staff, and I feel like they all care for us too outside of football, and I feel like that's something that all the players on the team really appreciate, and we talked about. So everyone on the team really just loves the coaches that we have, and I feel like they're personable too. We can relate to them. So yeah.
Ryan, you're listed as 5'11", and I feel like since your freshman year you've only grown, because I remember being taller than you that first interview. Mm-hmm. But when people doubt you because of your size, what's your response both on and off the field?
It's been like that for a few years now. So, if you aren't gonna like me as a player because of my size, it's not really doesn't really bug me too much. I'm just gonna go out there, kind of do what I do on the field. But I feel like it also helps me because it gives me something that motivates me and kind of wants me to just prove the naysayers wrong, because if that's one thing that they're going to take away from me just because of my height, I'll take that and kind of run with it and keep it in the back pocket for times when I need just motivation and just times where I need to keep going. So yeah.
What do we got? Coach, what have been some of the things you've seen over the course of the last few months that you're looking forward to seeing play out over the course of the season?
Some of what Ryan just said that is hard to, you can't really manufacture. It's seeing our guys come together. That's going to be an important thing. How we do as a team that's something to be seen. So I'm looking forward. We were just talking as a team yesterday. Each team is different. Each team, nothing we did last year it matters for this year. Except we have some experience, right? You play 16 games, you would think, okay, but what do you do with that? That doesn't guarantee you anything. So, looking to see how this team, we just voted for our captains, and so to see this team meld and come together, that's what I'm looking forward to. And there's going to be some times where it's not easy either, and so it doesn't always, comfortably happen, but the quicker it can happen, better chance we have. So that's one thing, and then just to see all these guys, and we got guys that didn't play a lot last year that were maybe juniors, now they're going to be seniors, and it's their time to shine, and let's go. So they're going to get those opportunities, and we need them, to be that guy that I know they think that they are, and have that come out, and both in leadership and in their play. So I look forward to that too. A lot of challenges, a lot of challenges that we have. There's we don't have a ton of depth up front. We've got in the skill department. I think we're looking forward to seeing what we can do there, because there's as they say, it's pretty deep receiver room, and so we're looking forward to that. But even then, they're all kind of new, except for maybe Morley, from last year. So, but we're looking for, but they all got a chance to do some really good stuff.
I like that. All right, we're going to switch into rapid fire. 5 questions on the spot. I know you answered last year with fire away at Ryan.
He's better under pressure.
All right, cool. Ryan, here we go. Ryan gets all the rapid fire questions. All-time favorite NFL players?
Aaron Rodgers, Bryce Young, Baker Mayfield.
Hello, rock stars.
Hi. we got a guest. Your least favorite NFL fan?
I can answer.
Oh
that.
yeah, yes, please. No, you answer as well.
I'm going to go with Fran Tarkenton.
Fran
That's one
Tarkenton.
of mine. Yeah, Fran Tarkenton, Walter Payton. Those are up there. Yeah, there you go. And some young people are going to have to Google.
Your least favorite NFL franchise?
The Bears. Shout out Coach Morris. Packers
great.
fan, so.
All right. That would be why the Aaron Rodgers thing works.
Yeah.
My least favorite?
No.
I don't know if I got a least favorite. The Rams were my favorite, and when they left to St. Louis, they became my least favorite. And then it's still a work in progress of growing back onto me. So that's, I don't really, that's kind of how that went there.
I sat down with Tyler Sestich earlier today, and he said that his favorite player was Joe Montana, and then his least favorite franchise was the 49ers. And I said, sorry, I got it in the interview. This is horrible. I can't believe
I kind of like that too. Montana was awesome too, but then the Niners always gave it to the Rams in the late 70s.
Up until the
80s.
last couple of years.
And then
All right, favorite football movie?
Coach, you go first.
Oh man, I got a bunch. Remember the Titans is always going to be on the top of that list. But All the Right Moves is classic. Best of Times. There's just, and again, people are going to have to look these up if they don't know what there's just a ton. But Remember the Titans is pretty.
Yeah, I like Remember that, and then Remember the Titans, and then the new. It's not a movie, but the show Quarterback on Netflix. I like that one too.
And anything that Dwayne Davis is in.
Oh.
Anything Dwayne Davis is in, the program, probably the best movie ever made.
I can honestly say that every time I see a clip of that movie, I tag David in it and say, show this to your dad. I still remember the first time I walked onto the field and I saw him, and I was scared of what was going to happen because I remember him from movies. And when I finally got the guts to walk up to him, he's like this big teddy bear. He's such a nice guy.
Remember, he's an actor.
He is an actor. He was also in Beetlejuice.
So, is he that nice? I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Just kidding.
He also slept through the entire Summer School movie.
That's true.
All right, a movie is being made about your life. Who plays you?
I'll say Coach Frenchie.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I can see that.
Yeah, I like Coach Frenchie.
I can see that.
He's definitely got the personality.
Yeah, that's why I chose him. I think he kind of taught me a lot that I know, so I would hand that role off to him.
I got two. It's tough. My really good friend Rob Atwood. I think he'd be perfect for the role. But also Coach Derek Larkins would also be really good.
He would be great.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
All right, now you guys get hit with the food question. Your go-to South Bay eatery and your favorite dish there.
You go first.
Yeah, you're going to get me on that first. I got a lot of those I go to also.
I would say it's by my house, Harry's Oklahoma style barbecue.
Okay.
It's good. I like the pulled pork
I
there.
gotta go there. I gotta try that.
It's really good.
That's a little hole in the wall. That's a nice spot.
And they got bread pudding there. That's really good. So I would put that up there.
I like all the El Gringos. El Gringo Mexican food, yeah. They got one in Manhattan. They used to have one in Hermosa. They got one in Redondo. They got one in El Segundo. Yeah, that's a pretty good go-to. Although they're getting way more expensive these days.
What do you like there?
I'm boring, man. My wife tells me I eat like a 5-year-old, so it's pretty basic. 2 tacos and rice and beans, and I'm good. A lot of guacamole and chips.
One last thing for you guys. I need you to say your name, where you're from, and you've tuned in to South Bay Sports Radio with Nick Ingram.
Do we say it at the same time?
You